All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start off by reviewing some characteristics of a personal narrative. Okay. Now, last week when we talked about personal narrative, we went over kind of the basics of it, practiced writing a small introduction, practiced what it was. Okay. Now I want to go into the nitty gritty of it. Okay. Want to dive down into it so our understanding is much deeper and we get a better grasp of the concept. Okay, so characteristics. The first bullet point there says it focuses on a small moment in time in the writer's life. Okay, so this could be anywhere from a Christmas that you had to a present that you got to it could have been a baseball game you played. Okay, anything like that that would make for a good story that you thought it was a good story when it happened. Okay, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, now remember the beginning of your story. We talk about introducing it and being the introduction or the opening, but that's not necessarily what we call the beginning, okay? And we'll dive deeper into that later. Uses words for transitions, okay? We talked about transition words, first, next, then, last, after that. And it keeps the story moving and it keeps it moving in a way that it keeps it in order, okay? It includes little details to help the reader imagine the setting, so where it takes place, the characters, so who is in your story, and the events that happened. Uses descriptive words to describe the setting, characters, and events. Okay, so that's your senses, your five senses, like smells, touches, tastes. And then finally, has a strong, meaningful ending. Okay, so when we go over to our next slide here, it talks about our rubric and what we want to make sure that we are shooting for. Okay, now obviously a 4 is the best. That's what you want to shoot for. And a 1 is very, very basic and we got a lot of work to do. Okay, so we've got our 4 different areas here. First one is organization, then we have content, then we have the conventions, and we have the quality of it. Okay, so the organization. I'm just going to read through the 4s here because that's my expectation of you guys. Okay, so my writing has a clear beginning, middle, and end. So I can fully understand where your story started to where it ended. Okay, the content, it makes sense and is focused on your small moment. That means it doesn't go all over the place talking about things that aren't important. Okay, and it includes many details. Conventions, okay, so you wrote in paragraphs, complete sentences with capital letters and punctuation. Very important. And then the quality of it. Is your work neat? Is it easy to read? Are things spelled correctly? Okay, extremely important there. Okay, and then on our last slide today, I just have an example up here. Okay, so this was what somebody had written about their 4th of July at the lake. Okay, so I'll read it to you and you go ahead and discuss with a parent or a brother or sister or something or a friend of how this sounds to you. Okay, so first of all, it starts off, have you ever seen fireworks on the 4th of July? It's really special. This year, I went to the lake with my family for the holiday. It was a lot of fun. First, we unloaded our boat at the dock. My dad loves to drive the boat around in the blue water. Ooh, blue water describes our water there, and I see a transition word that keeps it in order. My brother and I got to go in the inner tubes while our dad drove us around with the boat. It was a little scary, but also exciting. So there, our author is talking about their feelings. Here's another transition word. After we played in the water, my mom and dad helped us dry off. Then we went into the woods and grilled hot dogs and burgers. My mom had a special red, white, and blue cake for us too. There were a lot of other people in the woods with us. We played with some other kids after we ate our dinner. Soon it started getting dark. Our grandma and grandpa arrived at the park and came to join us on our boat. Dad drove the boat into the middle of the lake, and we waited for the fireworks. We got to play with sparklers and we listened to music while we waited. Finally, oh, this word tells me it must be the last thing that happened. Finally, it was the moment we had been waiting for. The fireworks shot up in the sky and cracked with a loud bang. They were really pretty and colorful. My favorite fireworks were the gold ones that looked like glitter falling from the sky. My family snuggled together under the blanket while we watched the fireworks. It was the best way to end a really fun day. I hope we go again next year. Okay? So, all in all, that was a very well organized story. I could tell exactly where it began and how the author wrapped it up. I could tell that it had ended. Her spelling was very good, correct punctuation, correct capital letters. Okay, very, very good story. So, you guys can take time and read that again if you need to. Take time to go over your rubric here and the characteristics of your personal narrative, okay? And tomorrow we'll dive deeper into it. Have a great day, guys.